out of this world, leave the real one far behind. We can dance. We can go and be.
Hey guys! So I'm back with another look, and this one for me is going to be a prom look. I've actually been wearing this look that I'm about to show you guys every single day, more like on an everyday basis, because I think it's so pretty, like really soft but glam at the same time. So I don't know, something about it just made me feel like it was suitable for prom. Plus I wanted to get another tutorial in for you guys because I feel like it's been a little bit of a while since I've had one of those. So yeah, let's just get right into it for you guys. Also, across the street, or our next door neighbors, I think that they're either mowing the lawn or whatever it is that they're doing, but they're playing like music, and they're also using like machinery and stuff like that. So if that noise is like, if there's like a background noise or something that you guys can hear, most likely it's the neighbors doing their thing. I don't know. So I'm just going to get right into the look for you guys. What am I going to start off with? Of course my eyebrows are already done, so yeah. I don't have camera time to be wasting like this. Okay, so first I'm going to start off by priming the eye first. And if you guys watch my channel, you guys know that I'm not really too big on, and there's a mirror over here, that's why I'm looking to this side, but I'm not really big on the eye primer because I don't like for it to be so opaque and like, you know, just, I don't know. To me, I'm just not big on the eye primer, but I feel like for prom, you want to have your eyeshadow last all night long and you want it to be radiant, so you should have a primer. And for today's eye primer dupe, because I'm not using a real eye primer, but I'm going to explain why I'm using this. I'm using the L'Oreal Paris True Match Super-Blendable Compact Makeup, which looks like this. And this is in N5 True Beige. I got this to try out as a foundation is what it is, but it didn't really work out for me. It was too light, and yeah, but then I used it as a under eye base, and it is really super blendable and really soft formula, so I felt like, and it's also not so opaque, so it has good hold and it's not so white. So I really like it as a kind of like a primer for the eyes sometimes is what I use it for, and it being super blendable and soft also helps, so then you don't have so many lines and creases in your eyes. So I just go ahead popping that all over the lid and also under the eye as well. And you want to make sure you get this really nicely blended out. And again, if you have like a true eye primer, like a real eye primer, not like a fake me out eye primer like how I'm using, then feel free to use that. I'm just using this, so. Okay, so the next step, which I had to run downstairs and get it because it was like left in my bag or whatever, and it wasn't already up here, so if I'm breathing a little bit hard, just had to run some steps. So let me just take 5 real quick. Okay, so what I'm gonna get next is my Naturally Glamorous palette here by Revlon. This is a Revlon customized palette. I actually hauled this. I got 2. I got Sweet Innocence and I got this one, which is Naturally Glamorous, and I really do love these a lot. So first I'm going to start off with a brow bone highlight first. And I'm going to go in here into my Revlon CustomEyes palette, and I'm going to go into this center color here, the most obviously whitest color there is. And I'm just going to pop that color underneath the brow. And I'm going to blend it down really well. You don't want under there to be too white, ever. Okay. And now that we have that color underneath the brow bone of the eye, we're going to go into the inner corner of our eyes first. But we're not actually going to use the Sweet Innocence, not Sweet Innocence, what am I talking about? This one is the Naturally Glamorous. We're not going to use the Naturally Glamorous just yet. I'm going to go in with another color in here from a whole nother palette or whatever. So I'm going into just this regular, really cheap palette thing. It's not really anything special, but I need some colors out of here as like base colors before I go into that palette. So what you want to do is, for this look, on the inner part here, you want a tan color. So in this, I'm going into this tan color right here. It's like, if you look in this section, this is tan right here, and then underneath it, this tan color is what I'm going for right here. And I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but it's just a simple tan color, but just make sure that it's tan. So I'm just swirling it into that tan color and popping it really all over the lid. You want to get this tan color all over the lid, all over that crease area, just all over that area. And that's like a very faint tan color for me. If it seems like it, it's really faint. But that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm not going for like an intense, crazy, opaque type of tan color. But once you get that kind of the way that you would like it, what I'm going to go into is the lighter tan color that I showed you first on top of that color. I'm just going to go into a lighter tan color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lighter tan color here on the same brush, and I'm going to pop that more like around this area in the inner tear duct kind of area of the eye, just to give it a little bit more of a brighter effect in that area. So I'm just ever so slightly just kind of doing that movement right there. And it's not a lot, like I'm not going to go in with this too much. But just like that. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blending brush here, and yeah, that's basically it for that palette. We don't need any more colors out of that. The only reason why I went into that was because that's like, it had a good tan color that I was looking for, so that's why I used that. But now we're gonna go back to the Revlon CustomEyes here, and okay, so I think what I'm going to do is, okay, if you have this same exact Revlon CustomEyes palette, here's the darkest color, here's the lightest brown. I'm going into the lightest brown color, so this color right here. Sorry. And these shadows are pigmented. They're sheer, but they do have some pigmentation to them. I would like to call it really the perfect pigmentation, because I just feel like it's just flawless and subtle, and I think it's really true to the name, like naturally glamorous. It looks very like natural. Like these are natural shadows. They come off very natural. And this is like a really soft brown, so I don't know if you guys will like be able to see it like that, but it's really supposed to help and blend out that brow bone highlight and that lid color. Really, it's like meant to, I'm kind of using this light brown really more as a transition color. And you want to get that round shape for this. And then I'm going to take this crease brush here, and I'm going to go into the color right on top of that color, which is this more Auburn-esque kind of color up here. I'm gonna go in there a little bit with the crease brush and yeah, put that on my crease area, but like very small, not like all the way in there type of thing. Like just look at the motions that I'm using and look at how much space that I'm going into my eye with. So you only want to put this in the crease halfway. You don't want to go all the way into the crease with this. Then once you get it in the crease the way that you would like, go ahead using the blending brush once again and just blend that out. So I'm just gonna basically go into the rest of the colors. I'm gonna go into this more deeper brown before the darkest color, just kind of tapping it with the brush because we don't want too much darkness here before that last color goes on. So I'm just kind of using that one tap to go in on both eyes and kind of just brush it just slightly. And then I'm going to take the deepest color on the same brush here and put it right on that outer area only, like that. And then I'm going to use the same brush to just kind of blend that nicely. And this is kind of going to go closer into almost like half of the rest of the eye. It's going to meet the tan color like halfway. Whatever extra I have, I'm just kind of dusting it under the eye because I guess that will help us out for the next few steps that we'll probably be taking. And because a little bit of that tan in my eye got washed out a little bit when I applied that darker color, I'm just going to go back into that tan color just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of extend it out just a little bit more, which is kind of what you're going for unless you're comfortable with the way it looks. You kind of want that accent to be more of a subtle smoke out. You don't want it to be so heavy that it's like covering the tan color type of thing. So that's why I'm cleaning it up a little bit. I'm taking my color icon pencil from Wet n Wild in white. You guys know one of my favorite things to do, put on white eyeliner. So that's what I'm doing, is putting on some white eyeliner, which I think opens the eyes up and just gives a really dainty look, really, to anything. You only need like a thin white line. You don't need anything really crazy looking. Now we're going to go back into the Revlon Custom Eyes palette here, and we're going to use some of these colors to create more of a under eye effect. But before we do that, I'm actually going to take some black eyeliner here, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put this under the eye, but not on the wet line, under that wet line area. So I'm just going to create a little thin black line here using the liner, but as you can see, it's not even going in half of the eye, it's going in like really right on that outer V. So and if it's a little rough looking, don't worry about that. We're gonna smudge it out, clean it up, do all that stuff later. Okay, now I'm going back in with my Revlon Custom Eyes palette here, and I'm taking my I think I'm going to use both my slanted brush and my pencil brush here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this back on up, and I'm going to take this color, the deepest color in here, using my slanted brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and just put that underneath the eye, like that. Then taking my pencil brush, I'm going to dip into that Auburn color just a teensy bit, kind of dipping into the dark and the Auburn color, and kind of smudging that on that bottom lower lash line. Why am I like opening my mouth to do this? Does that look weird on camera? I don't know. Makeup, 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 yeah! Okay, so you kind of see what I'm going for there with the smudging of the eye, opening up and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, and then we're gonna do some liner, some black liner, some wings, but they're gonna be really small, petite, pretty type of wings. They're not gonna be intense because they don't need to be intense. This is really kind of soft and subtle. It can be edgy, but I don't think the edginess should come from the gel liner. I think it should come from probably a lipstick or something like that. So yeah, and I think that the smaller cat eye, like the smaller kitty eye, is more suitable for prom. I think it's appropriate for girls around that age, and I just feel like, I don't know, if the cat eye is dramatic and that's the way that you want it, because I know I like dramatic cat eyes as well, then by all means, you know, do you for prom. But I just think that with this look, I thought it was just so pretty with the little like kitty eye or whatever, and I'm not used to doing that type of liner. Like, I'm more of like a dramatic, bold wings type of person, so for me to like wear like a small wing and to really like it and appreciate it, like, I just felt like, wow, you know, maybe I should like do this tutorial because I really like the way that I look with those eyes. So I'm gonna get off camera though to do that because I can't do that on camera. It takes too long, takes too much space, this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna get off camera to do that, and then I'll come back on camera to do everything else. But I can at least tell you what I'm using for my liner. For my liner, I will be using the Wet n Wild MegaLiner liquid eyeliner here. So that's what that looks like, and I'm gonna get off camera and do that real quick, and then I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so that took a little bit of a while, and I honestly did them a little bit smaller, but because I messed up on this one eye, I had to kind of make this one a little bit thicker. So if you don't really like how thick these eyes are, you don't have to do them this thick, but basically in comparison to how I am accustomed to doing my cat eye, these are still very, very, very toned down for me. So that's just basically what that looks like. And this eye is a little bit messed up. It's kind of bugging me a little bit, but anyways, yeah. So small eyes, and now I'm gonna go in with some mascara. And I think today what I'm gonna use for mascara is just this Voluminous False Lashes and Faux Cils from L'Oreal, and it comes in a little gold packaging like this. So that's what I'm gonna use for my lashes. Lashes, 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 yeah. I can't see what I'm doing. I can't. So these are the eyes here. You can kind of see what I'm talking about with the tan and the smoking out of the eyes. Very subtle, but it's really pretty. And I don't know if you guys can kind of see on this eye, I messed up a little bit with the gel liner, but that's what that looks like. Okay, so that is the eye look for you guys. Now that I'm done doing the eye look, it is time to get onto the face. So yeah. Okay. So I got a couple of samples from Sephora recently. I went to the mall and I tried some samples from them or whatever. So within the samples, I'm going to be using makeup for my face as well. But I will be letting you guys know what I'm using in this, that, and the third. So yeah. So first I'm going to prime the face. And for primer, I am going to use this Laura Mercier oil-free foundation primer, is what it says it is. And when you get your samples from Sephora, they should look like this in a little container or whatever. So yeah, that's what I'm using, is this oil-free primer by Laura Mercier, which I have long nails, so I'm gonna take the tip of this brush and kind of dip it in here and then apply it to my face. And this primer has a little bit of like a oily, not oily, but lotiony kind of consistency to it. You really don't need a lot of this at all because it spreads really nicely. And I love the fact that it's oil free because I have an oil problem. So I wanted to try this out. And they also had recommended it for me at the Sephora that I went to in my area. So I've been using it, which the Sephora samples, they go, and I'm just blending it out, but I feel like the Sephora samples last you a while, depending on how you use it, but I can see myself using this sample for a minute. I mean, you guys see how much I put on my face. Definitely not a lot, and it's spreading all throughout. So if you're not too keen on primers and you've never really had like used a like primer like that, you really don't need that much primer. I mean, if anything, the primer should be focused on your trouble areas, the areas that on your face to where you have the most problems with. So yeah. And then after that, I'm going to put on some foundation. if you've watched some of my tutorials in the past, you guys know I'm really like a BB cream type of person underneath my makeup because it's light, airy, and it doesn't clog the pores and stuff. But I'm using a little bit more of a heavy duty foundation because I feel like for the purposes of prom, you want your makeup to last all night long, you want full coverage. But the foundation that I'm using is not heavy at all. It is also a sample that I got from Sephora, and this is the Kat Von D. This is the Lock-It foundation, but my color is in number 71 Deep. And like I said about the last sample, you guys, these samples last for a very long time. I know there's gurus on YouTube who they've bought like the full size of the Kat Von D, but they oftentimes, some people I know, they oftentimes say that they live off of just the samples because it doesn't take a lot of it at all. And samples are free. You can go into Sephora and say, can I get some Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, for instance, can I get a sample of that, and they'll give it to you. And they matched me when I went to my Sephora. I did not know my shade at first, so they can match you there as well. But I'm just taking this little brush here that I used for my Laura Mercier primer, and I'm just applying this all over, just kind of putting dots all over. Eventually, I would really like to get the full size of this though, because I just love the coverage of this foundation. I mean, it's the perfect shade. The only thing I can say I really don't like is that I'm so used to having like a clean blender, and I'm using the bottom part, this round part, to kind of press it. And you guys pay attention to the coverage because I'm going to be talking, but pay attention to this coverage. But the only thing I can say is that with other products that I use to blend my skin, to blend into my skin, they kind of come off the blender really easily, but this one has a little bit more of like a staying power. It's not easy to wash this off of my beauty blender like that, so I don't really like that it stains so heavily like that. But it has great coverage, like flawless coverage, like seriously flawless. It's a great base, I feel like, to start with. It's so light, you cannot feel it on the skin. I mean, I don't want to like do a review for this or something. I'd rather do that in like a separate video, so I don't want to make this about that. But I really did enjoy using this Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, and now I can kind of see what everyone is talking about. But this is especially great foundation for prom because I just feel like you want your makeup to last all night, and you want it to be as flawless but natural as possible. And that's another thing that I like about this foundation, is that it's sheer, it's heavy duty coverage, but it's a sheer, flawless, seamless application, if that makes any sense. And I'm adding a little bit more on the sides of my face because I have those dark marks. You can build this consistency with this foundation. So if you don't like the way it covers you up the first time that you apply it, then you can add like more layers to it, which I kind of do. And as you can see, I'm taking really small dots of this Kat Von D sample. I'm not really taking like a whole glop of that because this stuff is strong. Okay. And I find that the best way to keep a clean blender while using this foundation especially is to clean it up right away. So of course I'm going to go in with the same blender, but this part for concealer. But before I go in, my cat is next to me rubbing me, and you want to say hi? Oh, don't scratch my makeup. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to use the same blender for my concealer, but I'm going to wash it really quickly. And what I do is basically I wash it. I take a towel, like a regular towel that I use to wipe myself. Cat hair in my face. I'm going to take a regular towel that I use to wipe my body after I get out the shower and kind of just suffocate it a little bit to get some of that water out of it. And then I'm going to use it for my concealer, which I find that when it's damp, it does give me a really great application. So I don't mind it being a little bit damp. That doesn't bother me. But it bothers me more keeping this Kat Von D on the bottom for too long, because then it kind of becomes permanent to the blender, and I don't really like that. So I'm gonna go wash it, dry it out with a towel a little bit, and then come back and then do the rest of the face, concealer, all that stuff. So okay, you guys, so I just washed the blender. You can see it's a little bit cleaner. Why? What do you want? Okay, bye. Bye. So, now that my blender is washed, I'm going to go in with concealer. And I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. You guys already know my favorite. And I am actually mixing concealers today. So I'm using the first shade now, which is Cafe. You guys, you really don't need that much concealer. I don't know. It's like I'm applying foundation and concealer, but I'm doing more kind of like a seamless, fresh face application. Not so heavy. You should never want your makeup to be heavy. I don't know. That's just, I don't like heavy makeup. And then I'm taking Deep Foncé, which is a lighter shade, and kind of just dabbing it in those same areas. And then I'll blend the whole thing out with my blender. But yeah, I feel like this is drugstore concealer, but it is really good. It is some full coverage stuff. I really like it. And I just like the way it goes on. I feel like it's very natural type of concealer. You can top it over with a powder. You know what? I think I'll probably do that in this video. I don't usually do that, but I'm thinking like if you're going to prom, you do kind of want to have a concealer that you can assure will not crease. And I think the best way to ensure that a concealer will not crease is to top it over with a powder. Okay, so my camera died and I went downstairs to eat, and I ate these cinnamon burst Cheerios and I thought that they were so good. I don't know, I just like Cheerios because they have protein in them, but these was good! These was bomb! I basically pressed some powder onto that concealer, and I pressed the CoverGirl Clean Soft Honey powder onto that concealer because I wanted a more long-lasting effect, but you don't have to do that. I think these concealers, the Maybelline Fit Me concealers, are really trustworthy, meaning that they're flawless. I mean, whether you put powder on top of them or not, it doesn't really matter. So I wouldn't say you have to put a powder over it, but if that makes you comfortable, it's not gonna hurt. And I'm taking another CoverGirl powder, except this one is in Tawny Fauve, which is my color, my shade. And I'm taking that with the same brush and kind of just going in my chin with that a little bit. Over here. And what I'm doing with this is kind of just color correcting before I contour and whatnot. So just having a smooth base and a flawless canvas to kind of start the chiseling process. And for today's contour, I am using the Perfect Tone Loose Powder by Black Radiance. It is a dark contour, very sharp kind of contour, but for prom, I would want to have a sharp contour because, I don't know, I just want to be that girl, you know. So... And with the foundation, another thing I probably should say is the Kat Von D. I'm not gonna say it's the most moisturizing. It's a little bit dry to me in formula. Like it's not dry, but it's not super moisturizing. So sometimes I've added a little bit of BB cream to the formula as I'm pressing it into my skin. This time around I didn't, but that's just a tip for anyone who likes the foundation, likes the consistency, likes the coverage, but just can't get with the formula. If you want to moisturize it a little bit, add like a tint of BB cream to it. I recommend the Dream Fresh BB cream by Maybelline. You guys already know that that is like staple BB cream for me, so of course I recommend that. And I'm just contouring my nose with this smaller brush here, using the same powder. I'm watching Shaws of Sunset on TV right now. Who's your favorite Shaws of Sunset not character, they're people. What do they call it? Cast member. What's your favorite Shaws of Sunset cast member? My favorite Shaws of Sunset cast member is Asa. I love her. I'm always creeping on her Instagram all the time. But I just think she's just such an inspiration. Like, she has so much going for her. She's so creative. Even though she's kind of like a weird person sometimes, like a weirdo, people say, since that episode where she was gonna get the Mercedes. You guys know that, like this video if you know the episode I'm talking about. When she was gonna get the Mercedes and like she went with her mom and she was like just doing this crazy like I don't even know what to make of it that she was doing to pick out the car that she wanted. It was weird, but it was just like, that's awesome. I think she's just so pretty and just everything. I just love her. So she's my favorite on the show. So comment down below, let me know who's your favorite on Shaws of Sunset. Do you watch Shaws of Sunset? Do you like that show? I like that show. And next up is what I like to call decorating, which is highlighting and blushing. So for highlight, for my highlight, I'm going in with my MAC lights. The fuck is that noise? For highlight, I'm going in I'm going in with light. What the fuck is that noise? What the Okay, so for highlight, I'm going in with MAC's Lightscapade Mineralized Skin Finish. But it's in Lightscapade, which has been my favorite for a very long time now. So I'm just taking this little brush here and I'm just going up here with it a little bit. And I don't know, I really like this like highlight, so it looks like I'm going into it too much. And then I'm just taking a little bit on my finger here and going down that bridge of my nose to kind of make that look skinnier. Which, this is like one of my favorite steps, honestly, not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about my nose that I like so much, but I just do. And for blush, today I'm using this Master Glaze by Face Studio Maybelline blush stick here in Coral Sheen, my favorite from the collection. I also did a review on this whole blush stick collection. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. But I'm using Coral Sheen, and want to make sure to get that right on the apples of the cheeks. This is really pigmented, so you don't need a whole bunch, trust me. And it blends out so seamlessly. I mean, and I love this color. I think it's just so beautiful, happy, gives you a really flattering look, especially for prom. I mean, it's just so girly yet warm. Not too pink, not too red, just that perfect in between. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the lips, and yeah, I kind of already started, or no, before the lips, I'm going to use the NYX Matte Finish Finny Matte Spray to spray my face and set my makeup. So just a little bit of that. And after I set my makeup, I'm then going to go on the lips. I'm going for something a little bit pinky. I don't know, but I've blacked, like I've had a black lip with this same eye makeup before. So if you want to go a little bit more edgy for prom or whatever, any lip is suitable with this eye look because it's neutral. So yeah, I mean, just knock yourself out, do your own thing. So first I'm going to moisturize the lips. I'm using the Baby Lips in Quench just to clear. And then after I do that, I'm going to go in with this lip pencil. It's the Adoro lip pencil in Auburn. And I'm just using it on the outer sides of my lips. And under and on top, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take Snob Lipstick by MAC, which just looks like this. And then after I do that, I'm just going to go over the whole thing with Oyster Girl Lip Glass by MAC. This is the complete look. And I mean, usually at the end I zoom into the look, but I feel like it's nicely zoomed. I mean, I'm getting closer to the camera, but I feel like you guys can kind of see everything on my face. You can see where that contour is at. That highlight is glistening right now. And that cheek is very, very bright and pretty. The eyes toned down, subtle, and the lips are pink. But like I said, you can do anything that you want with that. So yeah. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. I enjoyed making it for you guys. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful prom if you guys are watching this before prom. And yeah, just enjoy yourselves and always look cute. So yes, see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. I just reached 1,000 subscribers. And I'm so thankful, so happy. So thanks you guys so much, and yes, love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.